Malikpour from Sweden in the red. Reda Abdelhamid El-Hariani from Morocco in the blue. El-Hariani from Morocco in the blue, Malikpour from Sweden in the red. And Sweden goes in for the single, moves to the back, tries the high crotch. Separates and strikes.
Both of these fighters expending a lot of energy in the first 22 seconds of the round.
And all of that trade and adapt, really on the exit, there were 2 hard punches landed by Malikpour. Those were the ones that scored. But El-Hariani throws him from the platform. How did you make sense of the chaos of those first 30 seconds, Tony?
Well, both of the fighters really throwing a lot of punches. They're wiry fighters. You see their legs and just trying. There again, we have Malikpour attempting to get a push off and actually lost 2 points for losing his balance. So hopefully they'll settle in a little bit more, because they've thrown a lot of technique. Not all of them scoreable techniques.
And what's making it interesting in its chaos is that they are like-minded fighters. They're appeasing each other's desire to trade inside here.
And they're so Malikpour, we're almost even in terms of what the judges see, with a slight advantage from El-Hafiyani.
And that's another example of how the International Wushu Federation kind of gets it right. Beautiful.
We might have just edged up there too.
As you were pointing out that the judges have it pretty even, our audience would look at this and say this is pretty even. So in general,
it's like you said, it's a fun fight to watch because they both have similar styles. There's a takedown, and we have El-Hafiyani edging farther and farther away here. 3 judges still have him ahead, but Malikpour just earned 2 points with that roundhouse kick. Let's see if he stays on. He did not stay on. That off-platform cost him 2 points.
So a frenetic start, you can see, and the first thing that you noticed and observed there, a couple of those punches did really ding El-Hafiyani. That was early, but the first thing you observed is they are using, that was beautiful to watch, they're using a lot of energy here. There was a clean single, just chest press to the mat.
It's a very entertaining fight. The competitors look like they're having a great time, so it makes the audience have a great time watching this fight. You know, in this fight, Malikpour was just a couple of points away from evening things out for most of the round. So we'll see what happens here.
And even, again, that point, you know, that is, as the judges scored that with their training and their developed eyes, our audience would score that and say it was a pretty close round as well. So even in a chaotic round like that, the scoring is accurate.
So here we're approaching about the first 20 seconds. Look at the night and day difference between the first round and now. There's 0 points on the board. Not as much technique. That frenetic start to your first few seconds of about very different coming out second round.
Yeah, that. I mean, if you were coaching either or both of these gentlemen,
beautiful throw.
Yeah, gorgeous. One of the things I'm sure you might say is, all right, did you have a fun first round? Let's slow down and focus a little bit and remind them of whatever our approach was going in.
Well, that first round under the lights, on the lei tai, all of that energy drain, and the adrenaline that you have affects you when you have to come out for a second round. We've seen some of our fighters who end up going into a third round and they're just exhausted if they haven't trained enough endurance there. It's another beautiful throw by El-Halfiani.
El-Halfiani is just starting to pull ahead now. Maybe fatigue is a part of it.
Well, you see a noticeable change in the pace for both fighters. We're just under minute 10 seconds into the second round, and so far Malikpour is not on the board with a couple of judges, so there's a big difference in the scoring at this point for him.
You see even there, you know, and those are some of the anecdotal signs of fatigue. You see,
you saw him look over at the clock to see how long he has to take, and his hands are, he has to protect himself, and El-Halfiani is able to strike at will. He looks like Malikpour is gaining a little bit of energy, but his hands are not moving out. His legs are moving, but he's tired.
Yeah. And for an audience at home, they would see 2 minutes with a 1 minute break, an aerobic issue when you're wrestling this much. You know, it's not aerobic where you're just bouncing, striking. You're being forced to carry another man's weight and work against his pressure. And
well, one of the things here, Robin, that you would easily notice, that's one kick in the last 30 seconds that you've seen in the round. We could count the number of kicks, and that tells you how fatigued they were for the second round of a fight.
Well, they enjoyed it.
Malikpour didn't make it on the board with 2 of the judges, so that means that his technique wasn't clear enough for them to give him a score. So a well-earned win for El-Halfiani.
Well, they found someone just like themselves in round 1. I think the audience really enjoyed that one. And I think they enjoyed it as well. We will get right, let's take a look. This is early. Underneath, to the thigh. Takes. El-Halfiani goes down first. That was the whizzer throw, the overhook throw. Some beautiful technique in here as well as the early cast. And right there, the cradle.